Thank you for choosing Burnt Out Perfectionist. My name is Sara, and I'm currently solo editing this by myself, so there is no Eva this time. Diving in today's episode is a continuation of the Can I Be Frank mini-series that we were doing. So if you haven't listened to the first part, it came out last week at 6 a.m. and it is available on all platforms. And now this is a little bit more serious, well, as serious as we get. So, yeah, can't wait to hear. And we're about to be real frank.
And what if he was like, oh, buy small. Buy local, buy small. Okay, I'll buy small. That'll be $300. Well, I just wanted, what? Yeah. I just wanted to design this. Oh, well, that'll be $400. It is, like, ridiculous out there.
I think it all started when the words vintage and artisan were used far too often for things. And then it made it bougie.
It carries it everywhere because why are books more than $10?
That's what I don't get, is if you have a publisher and that publisher is making a massive amount of those books, is paying the author, but then selling those books to the stores or the store chains. And they're turning around, like, I'm not talking about a bookstore where the price on the book says 10 and they're selling it for 20. I'm talking about, like, why is the price 26? Like, how? I don't understand. Maybe because it depends on the amount of books that are purchased by the bookstore, but, like, where are they making money?
Well, what also confuses me is, like, I've seen authors be like, I don't actually make that much. I'm like, then come up with cool, like, designs and stuff like that for your books. But if I am seeing the same 3 no-faced inked people, dark hair, Letterman jacket, girl, bun, red hair.
Your Hallmark romance books.
Give me a different cover.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, okay. Well, we spent $300 on someone designing this. I'm like, you should get your money back because that is made with ChatGPT.
Yeah. ChatGPT or, like, someone easily made that or clearly made all these other ones.
Yeah.
Like, if you have an aesthetic that works for your author brand and you write 5 books and the covers are literally, you're just alternating the hair colors of the people, maybe changing the clothes, but it's all the same thing. You shouldn't be paying the same amount per cover when there's already, you're not like making it's not like they're making it from scratch.
But that's like, Emily Henry has a very, like, defined brand.
Yeah.
And I feel like she was one of the first ones to, like, introduce that. Jenny Han, same. You can tell where her books are and who her books are because totally from the cover.
Mm-hmm.
It irks me when people are like, they, like, copy other authors, like, book covers so that they get more traction. I'm like, that's ugly.
I know. Sometimes when they're copying is if they're like, you can self-publish on Amazon and that's totally fine, but you shouldn't be turning around and being like, oh, I'll just basically copy this cover. Maybe I'll, like, flip one of the colors and then make someone deceptively think that it's this person's book.
My biggest, like, for readers, stop making books that they're exact same as other books. Like, I understand if you read a book and you're like, oh, this is a great book. I have an idea for a book.
Yeah.
The amount of books that I read, and I actually was going to discuss with this maybe after the podcast, but I was like, I want to make a section on Burnt Out Perfectionist called Is It Spicy? Because when I go to read a book, and I was talking about one this morning, I'm reading, I'm going through, enjoying the book. Needed a little bit more space between each of the lines. The lines read a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a 4-page smut scene. I was not mentally prepared for that. I understood the slow burn, the teasing, the, like, getting towards cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Meanwhile, Eve's, like, skimming it to make sure that there's nothing that's applicable to the plot.
And, like, you can be like, oh, she's the prude. No, I genuinely was, like, in shock because I was like,
that came out of nowhere.
And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, great. But nobody puts that on. Like, I feel like it'll be mainly me because I read a lot of books really quickly. But, like, if I made a section on the blog that was just, like, level of spicy, and then I'm going to make our own, like, spicy levels, because it is, like, I feel like I go into, like, a prude grandma.
I know sometimes they don't want to give like ratings or give information in like the book write-ups because they don't want to give away parts of the book. But I'm just like, okay, like when our grandma would go read her spicy old lady books, her Harlequin romances, she knew what she was getting. And now it's like, it's not that we're applying shame to reading or into any of the stuff, but for those folks who want to read stuff, or sometimes the way that the books look, they almost look youthful.
Yeah.
And you've got like a 16-year-old girl who's going to go read it and then gets literally slapped in the face with some literature guy's dick. Like, well, and then she's like, oh my God, I read something that I shouldn't have. Or she starts passing it around to her friends and then they have a lot of questions, which is fine if they have a lot of questions. But say grandma thought she was buying like a cute, fun, Hallmarky romance type book and she's really buying her granddaughter smut. Like, I'm not asking for an age restriction, but yeah, a spice level would be nice. Like, spicy, extra spicy. Like, the people who read spicy books fully claim that they read spicy books. Fully admit it. They wear cute merch that say it. They do all the other stuff. They're 100% fine. It's not like it's Blockbuster and we're going behind the curtain to go get the porn. Like, that's not it.
No, and I feel like if it was like a 1 out of 5 chili peppers and it just like went up based off of like levels of spice, like people know what the levels of spice would be. Okay, cool. If there's no spice, great. If there's a ton of spice, I would like to know.
Oh.
If there is a ridiculous amount of info based off of things.
Eve looked at me like she was a child who just had sex explained to them for the first time.
Oh, well, sometimes it feels that way when you're reading and you're like, okay.
Oh.
Why does it keep going?
That reminds me of this TikTok I saw yesterday where this lady's like, I just found the spiciest shopping list I've ever seen in my life. It was like 23 cucumbers,
duct tape,
what are these things? Zip ties. It was like, what was it? It was something stupid, like 13 tubs of Vaseline. And like just the way that this list went down. And then all of a sudden, one of the things crossed out and said no. She's like, I want to know what that thing was. And at the bottom, it had like party hats. She's like, well, I guess they're going to celebrate after whatever the fuck they were doing. She's like, I'm just going to leave this right here for somebody else to find and read.
Well, like, that could be, like, out of context. Like, what are...
I'm sorry. I have not looked at a cucumber the same way since there was this movie called, I think it was called Summer Catch. It had, like, Wilmer Valderramas. It had Freddie Prinze Jr., I want to say Matthew Lillard was in it, and it was, like, a baseball movie. Summer Pitch. Something like that. And guess who was the creepy old lady hitting on all the boys? Jennifer Coolidge. And she's like, you should see what I did to that cucumber before I made that sandwich, like type of thing. And I'm like, ever since then, I'm like, ew.
And it's just like, okay, just with like a heads up before like I start reading it. And I'm like, what if I'm reading it? Like, I know that our mom won't turn around and walk behind me and like read what I'm reading. But like,
I personally don't want to be like reading one of those books. And then I'm like reading it and I'm like, oh God, okay, well, just get through this part. And I'm like, my kid can read now. What happens if she leans around and she's like, what's a throbbing member? Or she's like, comes over and talks to me and she's like, hey mom, I was wondering if I have grilled cheese. I'm like, oh my God. Like, the awkwardness.
and you're like, it's like,
excuse me, mommy's a little hot right now. Maybe I'll make you a grilled cheese later. Like, fuck, no.
It's just like, okay, like, cool if that's you, but like,
I know sometimes. And then I have like the fear of getting into some books because I'll start reading them and then I'll be like, oh, this is dumb. I don't know if this will get better. It's like when I watch shows. Don't give me a 10 episode fucking series and make it so I have to watch 7 of them. And then the last 3 episodes are good and everything comes together and makes sense. Fuck you. I don't have time for that. That We Are Liars, trash. Absolute trash. I literally got so far to the point where I'm like, I feel like it's this. Like we talked about in a previous episode. I won't say any spoilers in case you're like just catching on to it. But I like looked at it and I was like, I wonder if the book was better. Because the acting in the show was just so like, it was like a mixture between like a 90s Canadian production and like CW. Like it was just like, it was bad.
And like, I'm gonna be frank, with movies and movies and TV shows, give me a trigger warning. I understand we do trigger warnings for drugs, for sex, for
not all sex though.
No,
there's not a lot of warning for some of those things.
I just want a little warning that says you're gonna see a booty, or like one of those trauma, PTSD, anxiety,
dead parents,
depression,
cancer.
No. If. Why?
So I went and saw the movie If in the theater because I'm thinking John Krasinski. I'm thinking Ryan Reynolds. I'm seeing the other people in the movie and I'm going, oh, this reminds me of, what is it? Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking it's similar to that. I'm like, oh, this will be funny. It's a great movie. That'll be awesome. It sounds super cute. Like both those guys always make me laugh. This will be fabulous. Also, I saw like some SNL members that were in that. I'm like, oh, this will be good.
But also all the interviews were like, what's it about? Oh, it's about, I don't remember her name right now. Meg Bean. B. B helps imaginary friends like re-find their children that they had before. All those things. You're like, oh, this is so cute. Maybe a little like finding your way home, like,
yeah,
very cute. No. Within the first 2 minutes, I don't care if this is a spoiler, I don't care.
This movie's been out forever.
Within the first 3 minutes, the mom dies of cancer, and the daughter has PTSD from watching her mom die, and then her dad has heart surgery, and then she's worried that he's gonna die. I'm sorry, where was that?
Okay, so there's an episode from when I first watched it, and you'll hear it. I literally was like, our dad died of heart issues and stuff like that. And I was sitting there and I watched the mom die of cancer. And I'm like, oh, God, great. Because we had just watched some movie called like Wonder Park or something before.
Yeah.
Again, another one that didn't fucking explain anything. And it was so fucking emotionally devastating.
And this wasn't like Disney. Like, you know, Disney when like Cinderella, her dad died, but it was like her dad died. Like he went in the carriage, went into the forest, never came back.
Yeah, like it wasn't. And I'm like watching the movie. I was like, oh, well, that's sad. I'm like, well, maybe it'll get better from here. Like, this is how she brings happiness to her life back again. Like, her and her family or whatever held these imaginary friends.
Yeah.
And I'm like watching the movie and then I'm watching him go in the hospital. And then it was like, there was like all these points that just like connected. I know even like specifically for like our family. And it got to one point where literally like, and I am not a movie theater crier. I think the last movie I actually cried in was fucking Toy Story 3. And I was like, oh my God, they're all holding hands before they go in the incinerator. What?
Adventures in Infinity War?
No, I didn't cry during them. That was you.
I also saw it 3 times. But, or was it Endgame? I swear you cried when Iron Man died.
I did not cry when Iron Man died. I literally went, are you fucking kidding me? I was more mad than I was anything else. No, all this stuff was happening and I'm like sitting and my kid looks over and I'm holding back. Like, you know, when you're like about to cry and like full body wail, which is like only something I really do when people actually die in real life, it like triggered so much in my fucking body. And my husband looks over and I was like, and my dog was like, oh my God. And I couldn't stop. I was horrified. There wasn't a lot of people in the theater, but I was like, I was going to go see this happy, fun, adorable movie. And it broke me. Like, it broke me so bad. I was fucked up for, like, days. And then Eve was like, oh, my God. I can't believe you guys went. Thank you so much for asking me. And I'm like, you're never allowed to watch that movie. She's like, what? I'm like, I mean, don't watch that movie. Like, you're not a kid. But, like, don't watch it. And she's like, what are you talking about? And our mom was like, what? You can watch it if we want to type of thing. And I was like, fine. Have fun watching it then. And she's like, what? And like we came home and like my face, like I'm pale and I naturally get like super pink when I like cry. And we came in and my friend's like, are you okay? I was like, we went and saw If, and he goes, dude, we're gonna go see that later. Like, and I'm like, there's too many things. And I'm telling him, he's like, oh my, did that movie break you? I'm like, it broke me so bad, Joel. It broke me so bad.
Like, they're so, like, our dad had heart surgery for the first time when I turned 12.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, 12-year-old has heart issues, you know, whatever. Like, that's okay.
And then 12-year-old, dark hair, brown eyes, who's trying to, like, parent the parent because she's like, look, I love you and I want you to stay alive. There was all those extra connections. And I'm like, oh my God. And Ben's like, I knew exactly what was happening while you were watching.
Oh, see, to me, like, it wasn't until she's, like, sitting beside him, telling him a story. And I'm just like, okay. And then she's like, you can't leave me. And I was like,
yeah.
So, like, I didn't, like, wail. I was like, you know, when, like, the tears just start falling and you're like, oh, it's happening.
That's what happened to me. And then there was, like, I got completely overwhelmed. When did that movie come out? Because our dad died in 2021.
Oh, it came out last year.
Oh my God, really? That's how emotionally scarred I am. It felt like it was years ago. And I have not watched it since. And then my daughter was like, I know it really upset you, Mom, but it was actually like a really good movie. And I was like, I'm never watching that movie again. And they put it on upstairs at one point. I went downstairs and pulled the laundry with the door closed. I just couldn't.
Mine, like, the movie that broke me, though, Bridge to Terabithia.
Oh my God. We were watching that movie. Did we rent that or did we buy that movie?
We rented it from Blockbuster, and all the girls were together, like our mom and our two, like, the two older ones and me. And I was like, oh, you know, Josh Hutcherson. I always forget her name, but she's, like, in a bunch of things.
Oh my God, why do I forget her name?
I would say Sarah Paulson, but I know it's not.
That's not Sarah Paulson. She'd totally play her kid in a movie, though. She's, like, disappeared. I don't think she's in anything now.
She was in Carrie, I think. Like, Carrie Diaries.
Yeah, that was a show that should have never been canceled, random fact.
I can't remember what her name was, but and we're watching it and I was like, oh my God, this is so cute, like, traveling across the river, imaginary land and stuff like that. And I was like,
Anna Sophia Robb would have never guessed that.
and I was like, oh, this would be so great. I remember we had this, like, foam pull-out bed couch.
Oh, the jungle one.
And it was the best. So we didn't have enough furniture for me to sit on couches, so I sat on that. And I was laying on that. And we're watching it, and I was like, oh, this is so cute. And I think I went to the bathroom and I came back, and everybody was wailing. I was like, what's going on? And they were like,
I was just wide mouth, like, what the fuck just happened?
Sarah was doing the, like, and I was like, this is so weird. So I look at our other sibling, and I'm like, what's going on? She's bawling. I looked at our mom, and I was like, what's going on? Our mom, when she cries, she turns into Minnie Mouse.
Like, what?
I was like, I am so confused. So I'm watching, and I'm like, oh my God. Wait, is that her shoe at the bottom of the river? And it's like, they're all wailing so much that, like, they're not telling me what's going on.
Yeah.
So I'm, like, sitting there going, what happened? And then they sit down, Josh Hutcherson, and explain everything. I'm like, what?
See, I feel like there's more and more of those nowadays. When I was a kid, when you go back to watch movies with your kid, you realize how fucked up some of the movies are that you watch. The one that broke me, like Bridge to Terabithia, was, if anyone's ever seen the movie My Girl, it was one of those ones where my husband goes, oh, we should put My Girl on. And it's like you forget about it, but then you don't.
Yeah.
And it's on, and they're talking, and I was like, oh my God, we should turn this off. And he goes, why? And I was like, I forgot about the ending. Like, well, not the ending, kind of like the mid part and stuff like that of the movie. And he goes, what are you talking about? And I lean over and tell him, and he goes, what the fuck? I don't remember that at all. And I was like, maybe your mom skipped over it. He goes, really? I'm like, if you haven't seen My Girl, it has friggin', what's his name in it? Why am I blanking on his name? Home Alone. Macaulay Culkin. I was going to say Brenda Song's husband. Macaulay Culkin, and I don't know the name of the girl. She's in a bunch of stuff now. She started, like, acting again. And basically, like, her best friend, this is no way a spoiler. This movie is like 25, 30 years old. Her best friend's like highly allergic to bees, and they go out for like a bike ride, and he ends up getting like stung and he dies of anaphylactic shock. But her dad is also like, he runs like a funeral home out of their house, and he hires Jamie Lee Curtis. And Jamie Lee Curtis is like the mortician, like the makeup mortician person. And she has to like basically make him look normal. And they have like an open casket, which is so fucked up in general. And like you just like watch the girl, like she doesn't want to go to it. And then she like slowly walks in while they're talking, and you just like watch her break. And I'm like, oh my God. We didn't watch the rest of the movie. I told my daughter it was like super fucking sad. She's like, how sad? I'm like death sad. And she's like, let's not watch it.
Oh, that just made me think. I know we're like being frank. I brought this up to her mom. For for 6 years of my life, I never knew the ending of Small One.
Small one, like that donkey?
Yeah, because we would get to a certain point, and the mom would keep crying and close the book.
Isn't he just the donkey that took Jesus to Bethlehem?
I would have loved to know that, but he was being sold at the market, and they were gonna kill him off. But I didn't know because mom couldn't finish the book because she kept crying because the donkey was going to the market.
Oh. I didn't really think of that because I always knew the ending is that he was the donkey who took.
Yeah, because you were 14 and could read.
Yeah.
I could not when at the ripe old age of 6. I know, not 6. I was like 8. Like she started reading to us around Christmas at like 2, 3, 4, 5, and like some of the words were big. I couldn't read Bethlehem at 5, and then I hit 6, and I was literally like, "This is the ending of the book." It took this long for me, but no.
I was like, because we loop back to reading and kid stuff. I'm gonna be frank about something. If you're listening to an audiobook, if you're physically reading a book, or if you're reading a graphic novel, any version of like a story, that counts. You know how sometimes people are like, oh, if you listen to an audiobook, you're cheating? Or if you read it on a Kindle, it's just not the same. You have to read it on paper.
I'm not a huge fan of Kindles because I don't like the screens, but like,
no matter how you're reading or how you're listening to that story, you're still absorbing that story no matter what. You're not cheating. You're not doing anything wrong. You're not less than other people. You can still track it on Goodreads because you're still listening to the story.
I just thought of another one. We're going to like books, and like books take up a lot of room. Having a messy house doesn't mean that you have a fail. Like, I'm not talking about hoarders.
Yeah.
Preface that. Having a messy home does not mean that you're a terrible person.
Oh, no. But there's just like,
there's levels. But
there's levels, obviously. But there are so many people who can have a home that is like considered clean, like dust-free, wiped down and everything. But they have so much stuff to the point where it looks like it appears messy. And I can't stand like the terms of like maximalism, and there's minimalism, and there's consumerism, and then there's all this other stuff, and you can have too much personality, and then you don't have enough personality. And I personally think that like if you're renting a home, obviously there's restrictions to things. If you own a home and you're like sharing all these fun, cute things that you're doing in the home that you actually own, and people are like, oh my God, but what about the monetary value? Oh my God, but what about when you go sell your house? You're going to have to paint all over that. Who fucking cares? When did it come to the point where your home, whether it's rented or owned, is all about what you're going to next and not appreciating what you have now?
very random. I just thought of a follow-up, a random one that just came to my brain. Being a part of a fan base for a celebrity does not mean that you are entitled to anything.
Okay, back in the day, I was like a Backstreet Boy girl. I did not listen to NSYNC, only Backstreet Boys. And I would read those like J14, all those other magazines where you would know stuff about them, like that Nick Carter, like the Wu-Tang Clan, or that like when their birthdays were and stuff like that. But like we knew those things about them because they shared them. But then it's like, well, we need to know what this person's doing or what their baby's name is.
Who they're dating.
We need to know what their child's name is, where their child lives. We need to know all this. Why do you need to know that information? That person does a role, whether it's like music, acting, modeling, whatever. That person has a role. They do it. You appreciate them for what they actually do, which is their job. Why do you feel entitled to know every single thing? Like, it is terrifying how many stalkers, for example, Taylor Swift has had.
I find it really frustrating too because, like, people want the Matt Damon story. Like, Matt Damon married a Hooters waitress that he, met and fell in love.
As he says in the nicest way, I married a beautiful bartender.
But people want that. But then, say someone who's, like, a really popular celebrity that's single.
Brad Pitt. Everybody always wants to know who he's dating, who he's around.
But it'll be
what his relationship is with other people.
He'll be he'll be in a photo close to somebody and they're like, oh, they're dating.
Yes.
And it's like, who's this person? And then you go down an entire row. I am terrified for the day if we ever get canceled that they root, or we ever get famous, that they root something back from a pin in 2002 that one of us liked when I was 1 year old by accident.
Oh, yeah. Or like when they go back and like drudge up tweets and then they find like 18 different ways to dissect it to then get somebody fired because that person didn't give them what they wanted.
Oh my God, this person was mean to me. So we got terrible customer service, or someone owes me money for this. Then people go in and destroy their business on Google.
Oh, yeah. And that's coming from someone who worked in the customer service industry for years. I'm not saying everybody lies. I'm just saying there's always a different story or more information than what is given to you, no matter what, when it comes to a situation. You can get one person's perspective and another one. And emotion is a big thing that comes into it. Also, it could be absolutely nothing to do with their cable bill. It could be something to do with what was going on in their real life. Like their wife just left them. They're trying to figure out their bills.
But that doesn't give you the excuse, like, to treat somebody shitty because you have other stuff going on.
No, 100%. I'm just saying, like, when people come on and go, oh my God, and they give some sob story, like, I don't know. I feel like everybody always goes after like tan emojis. Well, just use like tan as a thing. Be like, I was at this club and I was just like, I just got dumped by my boyfriend and I told Tana and she didn't care. Who fucking cares? Is Tana your best friend? Do you know her? She didn't buy me anything. She didn't do this. Or when like people walk up and they're like, can you give me something? Why?
The like culture of shipping people.
Yeah, it's super gross, especially when it's younger kids. It bothers me a lot.
Like younger kids, but also like age differences.
Yeah.
Oh, those just give me the ick. I'm like, okay, cool. So if they ever do date, now they have this immense pressure that this like fan base is like Hillary Duff and Chad Michael Murray.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're gonna get married.
Chad Michael Murray's like, no, I felt inappropriate kissing her.
Yeah. Oh well, they're gonna get married. They're like this, like even Haley, from One Tree Hill and Nathan. There was a large age gap. She goes, he was the youngest one.
I was like, he was the youngest one, and she was the oldest person there, like out of who played teenagers.
Or they're like, I need them to kiss in the next. Why didn't they kiss? I'm sorry. Dare I say it? I would like character development.
I know there's so many things where it's like, it's almost like the spoiled child syndrome. Like if they don't get what they want, they throw a hissy fit and like will literally destroy someone's life. But it's terrifying. But also, they've done to some people.
They're characters. People are characters. They're playing characters in a show, and then when the show ends, they're not the characters.
Or people are like, oh my God, I completely look up to this actress because of all these things, or this singer because of what she does, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, hey, fun fact, actors are literally paid to lie and pretend to be other people.
But also, if they're like on the street and they're like, you're like, oh my God, hi, it's great to see you. And they're like, hey, it's not really a great time right now.
Then respect that.
Then leave.
Yeah.
Don't be like, well, you owe me this because or when people are like, I went to the Eras tour 50 times and she never talked to me.
Oh, she didn't pick me for, what was that thing?
22.
Yeah, she didn't pick me for the 22.
Yeah, she picked the child.
Yeah, all the tiny humans. who came, or that kid who was legitimately dying of cancer, who was probably cross-referenced. They double-checked to make sure it wasn't someone trying to pull a scam. There's so many like deceptive things that are out there when it comes to stuff, and so many people who flip around it and use it to their advantage no matter what. And what bothers me is like most of the time those people win. Like they win in a certain aspect of that other person gets completely degraded or attacked, and then everything that they've built or whatever is like ruined. And hey, some of those people could be really shitty people, but then sometimes they're just somebody who just decided that they didn't have time that day.
Or when they're like celebs, like if a natural disaster happens, why aren't they donating money?
I see. That's the funny thing is I always like celebrate. Like, say if they say that they donated money, I'm like, well, that's so nice of them to take time out of their day to like donate money. I don't sit and think about every single person who needed to donate money. And it'd be like they had some huge hurricanes that were in like the North Carolinas and South Carolinas. And people were like, oh, well, you know how many WB shows were put here? All those stars should give them money. Why is everybody entitled to give money to help other people? You don't know other people's situations. Yeah, it's not that they don't care. They could care, but also that's like turning around and looking at the girl who works at McDonald's and being like, oh my God, everything washed away. You should give every single cent that you own and not pay any of your bills. Like,
Donate this for free. It's now like an obligation. And then if people are like, oh, I'm donating this to a school, people are like, oh, you're just showing off.
oh, I know. It's one of two ways. Either you're giving it and you're an absolute angel, or you're giving it because, you want people to think good things about you.
And like, to be frank, like, I think it would be fun to like travel around the country and like do stuff. Like,
Oh my God.
so much fun.
Like that guy, that healthcare worker guy, that MD motivator or whatever.
Yeah.
And he walks over and he's like, hey, like, is there any way I can get a sandwich? My favorite thing though is like, by the time the person's actually say going to go do it or going to go order the thing, he stops them. So he's not like using them and then finding them later.
But I mean, like, it'd be fun to like, I don't know, travel around Europe and like promote a product or something like that.
Yeah.
And like some people do that. But I also find that people will like choose a person that they idolize. So like Taylor Swift, and then they make that their whole personality.
Oh yeah, and then they like copy every single thing that they do, or that's the only thing that they ever talk about. Not even just like Taylor Swift. Like there's people who have done that to like Ed Sheeran. There's people who have done that to tons of different people, and it's just like not even famous people. They'll find an Instagrammer or an influencer and like literally just become a carbon copy of that person.
What I find like ridiculous is when people are so I know we talk about Taylor Swift, but like when she didn't own her records and she was upset about it and they were sold.
Yeah.
And she was remaking them. People are like, only listen to like her version and stuff like that. But then they would go around and create like merchandise with her face on it and sell it. And I'm like, aren't you doing the same thing?
That is the same thing. I have a huge issue with that. There's a lot of people who are like, oh, I'm creating because I'm a big fan of it. I know it's a massive thing with like Disney things too.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be creating stuff and they'll be like, oh, don't worry, like it's inspired by or whatever. And I'm like, but still, like, that's a multi-million-dollar company who can come after you, sue you, and take all your money.
But not even that. Like, if I was to make, say, like a Buffy the Vampire shirt for Sara, it's a personal item. I'm not selling it. Like, I'm just making a custom item for you. I find it so, I don't know, the entitlement of people, and then they're like, well, I don't understand why I'm getting sued.
Oh, yeah. Or I don't understand why somebody has an issue with this or whatever. I'm like, really? I feel like there is a lot of entitlement, and there's a lot of just like, oh, well, if I ignore it or act like a victim, then nothing will happen to me. I'll be fine.
Or like, oh, these are my kids' names. Oh, they're going to a new school. Like, I'm doing this. Okay, cool. But they still don't know them. If you're going to show their face, okay.
Yeah.
If you're going to then threaten everybody, you are exploiting your children.
Oh, the people who just keep putting stuff like that on there. And I'm like, how do you know that they didn't have a talk with their kid?
What if their kid was like, Mom, I really want to be a vlogger.
Exactly.
Mom, I really want to do this. I really want to create this and create this. And like, they're trying to honor that. And people are like, oh my God, do you know what people do? Do you know that AI can remove the kid's clothing. Do you know that this can happen? This happen. I'm sorry. What?
There's this documentary that's out. I think it's on Disney. It's called like Kids of Influencers or something like that. I watched it. It's like 5 episodes. And they followed people over like a 5 or 6 year period. And one of the original like vlogger families is on there.
Fish fam?
Yeah.
Retards?
Yeah. And I'm watching it and it's like she's so honest. So the mom's like, I don't know how this will affect my kids. I just remember like we were sharing stuff and everything and they're like, yeah, sometimes we get like weird messages or other things, but it's just the same as if you're posting things. You could not be famous and posting things on social media, or people could be posting pictures of your kid in other places or anywhere that's linked to the internet, and people could be doing that, like creeps are everywhere type of thing. And the way that they're talking about it, it's not like I'm ignoring the fact that those things can happen. It was like it'll happen, like it can happen no matter what. And the ratio of like kids who want to be like YouTubers or some form of like online presence, it's like 1 in 3 kids on average in North America specifically. They said they didn't have stats for like around the world. And it's like, what if there is something like that? Like, look at Ryan. Look at everything that kid was doing toy openings. How much money he saved some parents from buying shitty toys. And he did that. And a lot of people are like, oh my God, his parents are totally exploiting him. He wanted to do that. I know, at least at the beginning. It could have changed and everything over time. It's just like child actors. People are like, oh, child actors are always exploited no matter what because of the horror stories that we've heard that have come out. But also they're like, there shouldn't be child actors. Then who's going to act in TV shows for kids?
But also, like,
There's
yeah,
also
those were
parents
situations. Raven Simone's.
Yeah, there's parents who parent. Raven Simone's parents parented.
Everywhere.
Yeah, there was a lot of kids who came out of acting fine because they had parents who showed up, and not parents who made the career about themselves or tried to make a career out of it for themselves. They were there to parent and sometimes help parent other people's kids.
Yeah. Like, I'm not, like, I feel like the concept of it is like the hierarchy of life, and it's like,
Yeah.
this is the best person ever. Like, I think there's a lot worse role models out there, but also I don't know every single aspect about people. If I'm like, oh, I think you're a great person, well, as we know from many shows, they could just be a serial killer.
They could just be a serial killer. That is like when someone passes away and people, I call it angelifying them.
Oh, I call it fabrication of relationships.
So they'll either be like, it reminds me of, there was this show I used to watch when I was a kid. It was called Freaky Stories, and it always started with a friend of mine. Or, and they would tell like some crazy story, and then you would know where it just like went off. Because it was like, oh, what's that game? Like Telephone? It was like Telephone, where it just had like, you would say it and try to get the story, and it would just keep changing. And there was somebody who went to the same high school as me, and he passed away. And so many people on like Facebook and other social media platforms were like, oh my God, it's so sad that he passed away, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no, it isn't. He was a terrible person. He literally, personally, to myself, tried to light my hair on fire in science class. He was literally known for physically abusing his girlfriends. There was full evidence, and people saw it happen and stopped it. And there was a million other things. And he was also in and out of other things. There was tons of shit that this person did to prove that he was not a good person. But as soon as that moment when he died, he became a perfect angel that everybody worried about. And I was like, that is horrible. He is not a good person. We watch them do it with people all the time. Or when you just so gracefully lift up psychopathic killers on social media because they've joined the platform, and you think that it was a free Britney scenario. And stuff like that is just like, to me, that is like unacceptable. I understand that people can change. I understand that there is good in every person if they choose to use it. But there are also some people that are just bad people. And we need to understand that. There needs to be a limit.
Also, I find like with the concept of like the kids online and stuff like that, women can't walk in the dark. We can't have headphones in. I feel like there's a lot of issues that they don't address. But you know, if I see your ankles.
Or my personal favorite, okay, I watched this girl named Adeline Moore.
Mhm.
And she's from Canada. She moved to Los Angeles. Do you want to know what one of the number one comments on her YouTube video was? Girl, why are your armpits so dark?
Comments and then like all things
Why?
like that. Like
Why? I read the video and I was like, this girl's running around decorating her new home that she just bought. Like, she was like renting houses and stuff before.
Mhm.
She just bought this house. She's so excited. She's holding up curtains and you're going to point out how the pigmentation is different underneath her armpits? First off, why are you looking so closely? Second off, girl, get a life.
like keyboard trolls baffle me. I'm like, get a life.
I don't understand. And I saw a TikTok that said that neurodivergent people cannot understand that because they don't understand putting effort into something that's not actually worth it.
See, it's the energy that it takes to be a shitty person is way more than being a nice person.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you just alter the way you're thinking. I also find that, like, so many people, it's like, if you don't like this, it's like the word of God, and then you are a terrible person. Like, Sara, you like sriracha? How dare you not consider the pepper's feelings?
Or, how dare you have sriracha? That's so mainstream now. You should really change to blah, blah, blah. No, 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 no. I like sriracha. I like the taste of it. It's not about commercial marketing. It's not about upgrading me. It's not about changing who I am or what I like. It's what I like.
There's also a difference between, like, being honest. So, like, last episode, we talked about going into, like, different stores and stuff and getting ready. When I was younger, Sara would take me to the mall, and I was like tan. I would go in with her.
Oh, yeah.
I'd tell her, you know, hun, I just don't think that color flatters you.
No, and I'd rather someone tell me that, especially in that god-awful lighting at the mall,
And,
than
like,
me buy something and walk out thinking that it'll look hot as shit.
and this would be, I'd say, from the age of, like, 5.
Oh,
You started 5, 6?
Yeah.
I came with you. And I remember she would put, like, if she had to go to, like, a Christmas party, she'd put on a dress, and I'm like, you know, I just feel like that dress isn't complimenting your features.
Or you would think of scenarios, like when bedazzled dresses were a huge thing, you were like, can you do me a favor and put your hands at your side and then like walk really fast with your arms and tell me how that feels? And I was like, what? Or Eve invented at a very young age the butt check. Do you want to ask what the butt check is? So, when leggings weren't considered pants, we used to have like cotton versions of leggings and you would wear them underneath like skirts and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Very different, similar, but like obviously like we've evolved over the years. But you can get something that fits you versus something that you can see right through. And wouldn't you rather know that before you leave a store or if you still are within a return window? And I remember I like bent over and I was wearing, I think it was a pair of Lululemon. It was a pair of some brand. It was like a higher end brand.
Mm-hmm.
And I bent over. They were black leggings. And Eve goes, see you wearing hot pink underwear? Oh, is my underwear sticking out the top of my pants? She's like, no, when you bend over, I can see your full butt cheeks. I know you're wearing that underwear that doesn't fully cover your bum. And I went, oh, good Lord. It is like a window to my butt. Okay. I was like, would it be weird if I put my leggings on and you told me if you could see that? And she's like, I don't think it would be weird.
I think I started at like 7. Like
you're always a very observant person. So like that's what pisses me off is like it didn't even matter what price point I would be buying things at. Some things would be completely see-through and some things wouldn't. And I wouldn't know. Or like the sun would hit and Eve would be like, hot blue panties. And I'm like, what?
Well, and I think a majority of it wasn't like I was pointing it out like you need to be embarrassed if I see your panties.
Hey, just to let you know.
But it was like the jean test. Can you squat? The shoe test. Because I have been a part of many of Sarah's stylistic choices.
Oh, yeah. These shoes are fine. They totally fit my feet exactly. You might want to buy them
half a size up.
Half a size up. No, they don't have them half a size up. So I'm going to get these. Sarah, how come you're not wearing those shoes? They hurt my feet.
Or it would be like, oh, what about this? What about this? You know, I don't really think I remember our middle sister, we would go, like, we were the hand-me-down queens. So, like, once I reached the ripe old age of, like, 16, we all wore down in a circle, if you will. And we were sitting there, and we would go through, like, we would have everybody try on everything. And I remember our other sibling looked at me and was like, "Are you telling her that it doesn't look good on her because you want it?" And I was like, "No, I'm telling her that the color is not good on her because she's gonna keep it, try to match an outfit, be frustrated that nothing matches, then try to do her makeup and then get frustrated by it. And then it'll be 35 minutes of watching her bounce between the bathroom and her closet.
Yeah.
And then she's gonna come up in the same black t-shirt and jeans that she's worn every day." And she's like, "Oh, really?" And I'm like, and this has been, I am the honest through and through. Like,
I'm very honest as well.
like, I will go, well, like, clothing wise, I feel like I'm the most honest. I will go over to Sarah's house. She'll be like, "Oh, time seasonal change."
You don't even have to go over. Sometimes I FaceTime Eve.
Yeah, and I'll be like, "No."
Do you really think fixing that hole, it's going to fix that entire sweater? I'm like, well, I mean, there is an oil stain here, or there's this. Like, especially if I have something that's like comfy, I'll like sit there and be like, oh, but maybe I'll just keep it till next week. But you didn't wear it this year. Or Eve's number one thing. Well, I gained a little bit of weight, so like maybe it'll fit next year. No, get rid of it now. Why? Because why are you going to starve yourself? Why are you going to punish yourself and put it on again when you're trying on all your stuff and then possibly have a mental breakdown and or cry because you know it's the day before your period and you're bloated as fuck and you can't wear it?
I'd also like to state, I've been like this before the child came.
Also, I kept trying to keep, is that a word? Is that a sentence? I would chronically want to keep like shoes that I had that I hadn't worn for like ever. Like in her 20s, Sarah, and Eva's like, why aren't you just wearing athletic shoes that are comfortable? Like you love athletic comfy shoes. Like why aren't you just wearing those? And I was like, I don't know. I have all these ones. I have this. When was the last time you wore these? Like, do you honestly have a reason to keep these? And I was like, it was like a pair of heels. And I was like, I don't even know the last time I wore those. She's like, can you even walk in these? And I'm like, I don't know. Do you want to see? I'm that person. It's like, let's see if I can do it.
But also, why are you torturing yourself for fashion? Like, I understand if it's your job and, like, say you're a model or, like, those types of things. If it's a part of your job, yeah, understandable. But if you're an average job and you're like, you know what? Let me I'm 5'10". If I put on 6-inch heels, do the math.
Yeah.
I don't need to be 6'4".
Oh, yeah. No. And it doesn't make your dress look cuter. It doesn't make any of your stuff look cuter. You look cuter if you look comfortable and happy in your clothing.
Also, I don't want to look like a giraffe.
Like, there was a rule straight up baby giraffe. I'm like, baby deer on ice. It's not a good situation.
There was a rule at my, like, grad stuff that the teacher was like, you're not allowed to wear sneakers. You have to wear flats. But you should probably wear heels because, like, your parents are going to see you out. And I was like, if I show up in heels, my parents are going to be like, what's wrong with her?
Also, that is so ridiculous because you're wearing, like, the ugliest effing... the gown things or whatever for graduation. You wear the doofy hats. And it's like, people buy these, like, totally expensive outfits to wear underneath all of that. And then they want you to wear fancy shoes because they could see your ankle. Why? When Jordan behind you is wearing Jordans.
So, fun fact too, with our, like, senior photo, they wanted all the girls in the front and the guys in the back. I was too tall with my required shoes.
Yeah.
That I had to take my shoes off and hide behind this lovely gentleman who was in a wheelchair. He was a hoot. And they were like, oh, can you hide your feet behind him because you're too tall?
I know there's so many things that are, like, asked of us, especially even as girls or as women, and to, like, accommodate something or accommodate some tradition that someone thinks of or anything like that. And it's like, it's unneeded and a waste of money.
But that's how I feel about being frank. We're available on all social media platforms and podcasting platforms because I'll just keep on clicking and making extra accounts and throwing up.
Oh, that she does. You can come watch us on some funny TikTokies or some YouTube shorts or anywhere else. You can catch up on our episodes as well. And we have new episodes every Monday at 6, unless Sarah's tired or if it's a long weekend. Sometimes it's questionable, but I will put it out on social media platforms. Thank you so much for listening today. We can't wait to have another frank moment with you.
Can I be frank?
Stay as warped and twisted as ever.
Real talk, no filter, just the truth. Navigating life from the old to the youth. Laughter, wisdom, and a little fun. We've got something for everyone.
Thank you so much for choosing Burnt Out Perfectionist. This is a podcast about two sisters, our crazy lives, and the fact that we both have ADHD. So if you would like to come and listen to two regular people who have a podcast, come along and listen every Monday at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're available on all podcast platforms and YouTube.